From Florida to Alaska, from the East Coast to the West Coast. Join Steve and Jane celebrating their 50th anniversary as they explore America in the cool Nana Coach, their 27-foot 4 Freedom Elite motorhome, as they visit the many points of interest in our beautiful country on their golden anniversary adventure. Welcome, everyone. Well, on our way back from Bryson City, where we took our lengthy train ride on the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad, we now head through the Indian nation of Cherokee, where we will drive through their business district quickly on our way to Clingmans Dome, where we're going to attempt to climb that large hill and get a good view of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
winds 469 miles through western North Carolina and Virginia and ends at Shenandoah National Park. Operated by the National Park Service, the Blue Ridge Parkway ranks among the most beautiful drives in America, with wonderful mountain views and no roadside commercial development. If you choose to drive the parkway, Just Ahead will guide you for the first 14 miles to Soco Gap at US Highway 19.
What has almost become a rite of passage for visitors who visit the Great Smokies National Park is to ascend the highest point in Great Smoky Mountain National Park, which is known as Clingmans Dome. Here we are finally up the mountaintop, Clingmans Dome. These lands are homeland for the Cherokee Nation. You'll note that signage throughout the park is bilingual, both English and Cherokee, as the Cherokee Indians populate a great portion of this region. The Cherokee consider these lands sacred to them and their culture. No one knows exactly how long the Cherokee lived in the Smoky Mountain region, but artifacts have been found that indicate people lived here more than 11,000 years ago. At the end of the last ice age, and ancient Cherokee tales describe hunts of the mastodon that once foraged here. Many people start out on what seemingly is an easy trek up the hill, only to find out It really isn't. And they can be seen turning around and going the other way after a few short steps. The distance to Clingmans Dome from the parking area is half a mile, but the ascent is over 300 feet. Walking time to the tower can take you as long as 30 minutes. A paved trail to the observation tower is steep. You might not be used to the thin air up there, so if you experience shortness of breath, they have little benches along the way so you can slow down and stop to rest.
Hiking up the Clingmans Dome Trail. They should rename it to Heart Attack Trail. Whew.
An observation tower at the summit takes you above the treetops for a panoramic view. Climatic conditions, however, may interfere with long-range viewing. Clouds sometimes shroud the tower, and rain is frequent there. At 6,643 feet, Clingmans Dome is the highest mountain in the Great Smokies National Park, and it's also one of the highest peaks in the eastern United States. As you walk to the observation tower, notice the dead trees along the trail. These are Fraser firs, which grow only at the highest elevations of the Smokies. But since the 1960s, a tiny insect that was accidentally introduced from Europe, the balsam woolly, has killed over 70% of the park's mature firs. Also at these higher elevations, be prepared for cooler temperatures and wind. We conclude our 3-day adventure through the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. We will now journey north to Michigan, where we are going to see the Mackinac Bridge, Mackinac Island, the Sioux Locks, Picture Rocks National Lakeshore, the Henry Ford Museum, and the largest Christmas store in America, Bonner's. We hope you'll join us. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so you'll be notified of our future releases as they come out. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you in Michigan.